So we have been talking about opening range breakouts, and it turned out to be a great week for it because we've had some moves up this week. And we're going to finish it with a killer trade. And this is a opening range breakout call butterfly. Just to review real quick, what is an opening range breakout? You set an opening range. It could be 9:30 to 9:35. It could be a 5-minute breakout. You can do it in option omega where you set, basically, you come down here, and you say, we're going to use an opening range breakout. We assume the start time is 9:30 and because it's opening, and you set the end time. And you can decide whether it's high only or low only or high and low. In this case, it's high only. And so this trade, what it does is anytime between 10:45 and 12:15 that we break out of that first hour's range to the upside, we are going to open a balanced call butterfly. And it's a 50 delta long strike. You're going to move the shorts up 40 points, and then you're going to move the long up 40 points past that. And you're only going to do this when we're above the 3-day SMA. We talked about this yesterday. Basically, you want some sort of indication that we're on a smooth uptrend, as smooth as can be. And a 3-day SMA is basically saying, yeah, we've been going up lately. So there's a good sign that we're probably in an uptrend right now. We're allocating 5% of our portfolio. And as you can see, the drawdown is still relatively high, but you are making so much that it offsets that drawdown a bit. And so, guys, first thoughts about this.
I love orbs, and I've traded something very similar to this, still trade an orb, and they are great. There's a lot of discussion about edge and what edge exists in the market. Does edge exist? And orbs are something that you can back test. This one's about 3 years, but you can back test orbs on a longer time frame. And one of the things I like about them with 0-day is execution. Like on this one, it's extremely liquid. You're at the money for the shorts, near the money for the calls ish. 80 points is still today's market that's near the money. And yeah, as you can see, this has still been a very good environment for orbs in general. Now there's a million Skittles in the rainbow, and there's a million varieties on the orb that you can run. But you asked for our opinion. I'm a big fan of the opening range breakout. This is a high side breakout. So those happen a good amount. And you can also do a low side, an opening range breakout, a breakdown to the downside in OO as well. We see less back tests on that, but that's possible as well.
This is a rare opportunity. We don't usually get this where this would have opened yesterday. So we can actually look at yesterday's data now and see what would have happened. So you would have put this on yesterday at 10:56 a.m. because we're doing a 5% allocation based on a $100,000 account. You would have opened 6 of these and you paid $10.90 for it. So roughly, I can't do math this morning, but let's say $8,000.
Yeah.
And you got out for a $35 credit, and you got out by just letting it expire. And so let's look at the trade replay. The trade basically goes up as the market goes up. Now, eventually, if there's a day where it like just really shot up 100, 200 points, it wouldn't continue to go up. So this is a penning trade. But in this case, it did exactly what you want it to do, which it went up and we sat there. And as you sit there, and setting there, meaning like we were, if you look at this 54.70 line strike price, that 54.70 is where we stayed for a lot of the day. And as you can see, once we were in those short strike area, and again, remember just to go back, where are the shorts? 54.80.
Okay.
So what's happening at that 54.70 is you're just slowly getting that theta decay of that butterfly.
Yeah, because you're close to that short strike.
Yeah. So those shorts are just slowly decaying while you're long that's well in the money is keeping some of its value. And so we dipped a little bit. You can see we dipped there down to 450. Price goes down to the trade a little bit.
Pretty late in the day too.
Yeah, but then we rallied, and then the trade,
Wow,
more or
30
less
points.
pinned. You pinned at the 54.80, which is a max profit. Worked out really well.
And you can do range breakouts and other tickers besides SPX. This is convenient because you don't have to worry about shorts getting assigned or longs getting assigned. It's all cash settled, but you can certainly do a range breakout in SPY. The cues, those have assignment, so you have to understand that.
But part of getting the emotion out of your system is really understanding the trade. And for that, Dan, do you care to show us what we're looking at here from a trading perspective?
Let me make a few comments. This is probably one of my favorite directional strategies over the years. I call it a time bomb butterfly. Plant them out there. And so this is a balanced butterfly. So this is a balanced butterfly. Basically, if you look at the strikes here, folks, I'm just using last night's close in SPX 54.84. So the test is having you basically buying at the money, April 25, that's today, 54.85, go 20 points up on your short, and then up another 20 points. So we're starting, let's pretend this is the breakout here. We have 54.84 is where we start. And then you have this wide range of loveliness where you make money. And you make money not just at the short strike. You can see here at the end of the day, you can make money 54.95 up to 55.55. So you don't have to hit a bullseye. But normally, these balanced butterflies, for anybody who's trade balanced butterflies, if you trade, they're the highest yield strategy, right? They're going to be a higher yield strategy than some of the other long delta or bullish type trades. Long call, bullish vertical call debit spread. You won't make as much money, but from a yield point of view, they're wonderful. But how wonderful it becomes as we go up. Like for today, the expected move for today is 60 points. So as you get up to that 55.25, which is 40 points, 50 points up, you get the last couple hours in the day, this thing balloons, right? And from a yield, you spend, this says about $800, this thing can go to $3,000. Right now, that's a bullseye. But if it's up near the expected move, up near that 40 to 60 point mark, you can kill it. And again, better yield than a long call, better yield than a vertical debit spread. What's great is with the orb, giving you, when you say the best possible chance for success, break out to the upside. So I'm a big fan of the balanced butterfly. And when you match that with the orb, I think you have a winner.